Hi everyone, so I have some recent favorites for you today. I think it would be more or less the month of May and some things I've been liking for a while now and just haven't thought to talk about. So I will probably maybe insert me applying this, but the first thing I want to mention is this Ofra liquid lipstick in Nude Potion. This is part of the Nikki Tutorials collaboration, and I did buy the whole set from Ulta when it was 20% off, when I had a 20% off Platinum coupon. So that price ended up being the same as using the 30% off on Ofra's site, but since you can't get the Ulta 20% off very often, it probably usually would make sense to buy things from Ofra itself as opposed to from Ulta, because while Ulta's base price is lower, it's not the only way it gets to be the same as the 30% off on their site is if you have a 20% off, which kind of bugs me how brands do that, but it is what it is, and that's their whole situation. Anyway, so this is a very light nude. Not a surprise if you've seen it on Nikki herself. The formula is comfortable. It's not that like dries down to a full powder matte, so there is still a little bit of tackiness there, though I do feel like it sits on my lips a little bit. Like, I don't mind when I have a lot of lines, but if you don't really like that look, then it definitely starts to get even worse than it's showing on me right now. I think I might put a little blush on because I feel like with this kind of darker eye and this really kind of light nude lip, I'm looking a little washed out. So let me get some blush. Well, since it's going to be part of my favorites, I'll just use one of these Bite Beauty Multisticks. This one's in Gelato. It came in the set. It's like the love, it says love on it, and I think it was originally supposed to be like a Mother's Day set. And it came with Cashew. I think it's still available on Sephora's site as of today, at least. I don't know if it will be once I get this video up. So it came with Cashew and Gelato, and this is Gelato, which is fairly cool toned. I feel like if I wear it full on my lips, just applying it out of the bullet, that it can be almost a little too cool, which is surprising since most things tend to go very warm on me. But if I just apply it with my finger and press it in, I really like it because a little bit of the warmth of my lips comes through. In general, I like this formula. I had gotten a sample card. Got some hair situation here. I had gotten a sample card. Hi, I was just gonna get back to you. Good. Okay, now that I'm totally discombobulated, I have no idea what I was talking about. Oh, the Bite Multisticks. So I had gotten a sample card with the Multisticks and Cashew and whatever, papaya, something. And I liked Cashew quite a lot, so that's what made me want to get that set. And so since then, I also picked up Creme Caramel or Cream Caramel. So I was looking for a peach that wouldn't be like crazy bright. And on my skin tone, sometimes that can be hard to find. And what got me thinking about it was the Wet n Wild Liquid Catsuit in Nudist Peach, which I quite enjoy. I just wanted something that would be a little easier to wear than a liquid lipstick when I'm not really in the mood for a liquid lipstick. And it is a little bit more sheer than some of the other shades, so it can sometimes be a little tricky to deal with. But I feel like it's a peach on me, but it's fairly muted. It's kind of like a dirty peach almost, so it's not like got that super neon bright peach quality, which a lot of peach colors can. I feel like I'm saying peach a lot. And there's this line between like peach and orange that I have a lot of more orangey-ish nudes, but not a ton of like really peach nudes. So anyway, the Cream Caramel ended up being pretty similar to this Nudist Peach, but in an easier to use formula. Plus I like that it applies, I feel like the formula works on my cheeks pretty well. It's pretty easy to apply without it being like too intense or blotchy or whatever. So in general, I'm really quite a fan of these Multisticks, and it says a lot for me to buy like a high-end lip product separately, because generally I only get them in sets. So yeah, to actually buy one individually says quite a lot. And I would be interested in getting maybe Blondie or Honey Wheat, but I'm trying not to buy too many of the browns, because I feel like my interest in browns is probably gonna be pretty short. So I don't want to put a ton of money into brown lipsticks when, you know, 6 months from now maybe I'll be like, not loving it. So another thing that I think I've talked a lot about, but I do want to mention again because I'm still so happy with it, is the Urban Decay Perversion Mascara. So this is the original deluxe sample I got in a gift with purchase from Ulta, and there is something about this brush and the formula. It's super intense in color. It puts on the amount of volume I like without needing to do multiple coats, without lots of fidgeting and fussing with it, and I get these lashes, which I love. It doesn't remove super easily at night, but it's not awful to remove, so it will be a little bit more smeary than something like CoverGirl Lash Blast or Clump Crusher, but it's not terrible. It doesn't leave like gloppiness in my lashes itself, just sometimes I'll have a little bit of extra cleanup around my eyes after I wash my face, but totally worth it. Love it. I have purchased that Lash Stash whatever set from Sephora so I can get another deluxe sample and then use the voucher on a full size. Loving it. Never thought I would really love a high-end mascara and think it was worth it, but this is totally worth it. I have a couple foundation things to mention. One of them, the color isn't really great, but the formula is so lovely that I have to mention it. I've been wearing it a lot by itself, mixed with some of my whites to see if there's a good fit for keeping as much of the things I like about the foundation without when mixing something else in. So it's the Kokie Cosmetics or Kokie Professional, Kokie Cosmetics Skin Perfect HD Foundation, and I got shade 10W. There are a lot of things I really like about this foundation. It's more yellow versus peach, which is nice. It is too dark, and it's something, I think the color is pretty similar to Revlon Color Stay in the 110 Ivory shade. So it is a little bit dark for me, but it looks beautiful when I apply it. It doesn't settle weirdly or do weird things with the dryness on my face. It just applies so nicely. It looks smooth and lovely, and then it wears extremely well on my face throughout the day. So I can get, this so far has been wearing better than anything else I've been wearing lately. And the issue I found is if I try to lighten it, sometimes it starts getting a little bit more oily and wearing away a little bit faster. So I'm trying to find a mixer that I can really get that full day of wear looking beautiful finish of the original product, but also make it a little bit lighter. So far the best luck I've had is the Makeup Forever Chromatic Mix in white, and that one is the oil base, but I am using a very small amount. I do think that if I mixed something like the MAC Face and Body in white in this, it might cause it to wear a little bit worse because I have to use a little bit more quantity-wise of that, but I'm not really sure. I will continue testing, but if you're on the hunt and you're more like NC15, I think this might be a good, amazing fit. And I did pick this up in store at Walmart. When I checked online, they didn't have it listed since this is a new brand. So if you are interested, maybe check in store at Walmart if you have one available, if it's still not listed online. So super amazingly pleased with this foundation. I wasn't planning on doing this video today, so I'm not wearing it today. I am wearing the Wet n Wild Photo Focus in Porcelain, which is lighter than that and is also a nice, very fair yellow foundation that wears well from the drugstore. I mean, amazing. So another thing I've been rekindled my love with is the Maybelline Dream Cushion, and this is in Porcelain 10. This is too dark, and what I did was I added a whole metric ton of the NYX foundation mixer in white into the cushion itself and just like smushed it around. So it doesn't wear as long. I kind of wish I hadn't picked the NYX one to put in there, just because that does seem to negatively affect the wear time of my foundation. If you can wear this without mixing it with anything, the wear I think is great. I can really get all day wear. It touches up with the cushion really nicely. It gives you good like light to medium coverage. I'm imagining that you could build it up to medium quite easily. I just tend to wear things a little bit lighter, so I don't try to make it fuller coverage. And who knows, I don't know. Maybe you could do full coverage with it. I really don't know. But it just wears so nicely, so easy to apply. And I found a really easy way of cleaning the little sponge, because I do like to apply it. I feel like the finish is beautiful with the sponge it comes with. So the way that I clean it is just with like a cleansing balm. So I use the Carolyn Hirons Pixie collaboration cleansing balm and just kind of slather some on and really work it in, and then add some, like even just my face soap, and really kind of scrub it around and then rinse it out, and it's totally 100% clean. And when I had tried using oils and the Beauty Blender cleanser and that kind of thing, it wasn't washing up very well, but the cleansing balm plus the face wash seems to get it super sparkling clean with very minimal effort. So been really enjoying that again. Kind of a brow combo that I've been doing lately that I really have been liking is the Anastasia Clear Brow Gel, which this must be on its last legs because I've had it for quite a while. So I apply this first and really get my my brows up, because I really like that kind of feathery pushed up look. And then after that, I'm going in with the Brow Stylist Definer from L'Oreal in Dark Brunette. And this is quite a dark shade, but I prefer a darker color on me, and this is also a cooler color. There's a lighter brown that's still fairly dark, but it's a lot warmer. And with the color that I dye my brows is a fairly cool dark brown. And my hair naturally is somewhat cool toned, because like from here to maybe here is all just my natural color along with the gray. And I feel like also with the amount of gray I have around my face and white that I'm letting grow out, I really can benefit from a pretty bold, darker brow. So I then kind of just do a little spot fill in. I did recently dye my brows about like a week and a half ago or so. So they're still quite lush looking, I think. And so I only need to fill in a few places here or there. And I find that it makes it so that I don't put in too much product, because I already have my brows where they're hopefully going to stay for the rest of the day. And I just kind of spot fill in places where, like, this eyebrow just has less kind of density than my right eyebrow. So I just fill in those areas so that it's a little bit more full in comparison and equal with my right eyebrow. And yeah, it's been wearing really well for me, so I'm very pleased with that. A powder. This is something that I saw on Melissa Alatorre. She had mentioned this during her drugstore week. It's the Boots No. 7 Translucent Perfect Light Loose Powder. She said it seemed to be a dupe for Laura Mercier's loose setting powder. And what I like is that it's not stark white, so it's not as obviously, since I don't really like that bright under eye situation from a white powder like my IT Cosmetics Bye Bye Pores or the RCMA or all the other white powders I have. I feel like this looks a little bit more natural, and it has been setting my foundation well, and I've been getting some really good wear time on my foundations using that powder, as long as I apply it with a damp sponge. If I just use a brush, it doesn't seem to work very well for me, but if I use the sponge to apply it, I'm getting that similar wear that I could get from the Laura Mercier loose setting powder when I had it previously. So really pleased with that. It seems to be wearing very well for me. So I'm really pleased with that, and it's $13 I believe at Target, so it's quite a good price, and you get quite a lot of product. It is 20 grams. And what next? Fragrance. So I have been wearing a lot of Tom Ford Black Orchid, which might seem a little not so friendly to the people around me in the summer in the heat, because it is really intense. I don't care. So I had gotten a sample of it so long ago because I felt like it was something I should like. But then I applied it a couple times and there's mention of like this rotten fruit accord, and all I could smell was that sickly sweet weird situation. So I just stopped wearing it. Then probably a couple years later, I got a sample card from Sephora and I like put it on and I was like, oh, I love this. This is amazing. And I thought, well, maybe it's different from the sample I got. Maybe there was something funky about my sample. Well, I used the sample again and I love it. So I don't know what happened, but I really like it now. So I did pick up the, I think it's like, I don't know what they call it, a pulse point, something point perfume. Touch point perfume, maybe? I'm not sure if this really has the same intensity. Maybe I just need to use more. I don't know. But when I use the spray of the perfume from that sample, I'm still working my way through that sample because I use one spray because I have a pretty strong sense of smell, and I feel like the lasting power and like the sillage on this is kind of insane. So I don't want to be grossing out everyone because, as I recall, my husband doesn't really love the smell of it either. So yeah, trying to keep it under control, but really enjoying that, and I've been wearing it a lot lately. Let's see what else. So eyeshadows, not really a surprise. I've just been so devoted to the mustard, to the yellows, etc. So this is Paper Tiger from Colourpop. This is Desert Sands by Makeup Geek. Their Latte I've also been wearing a lot. This is MAC Soba. This is the same as, I believe, last time I did a favorites. One new addition to the palette that I'm liking is this Anastasia in Stone single eyeshadow. And also, still, these colors are just so speaking to me lately. And I'm kind of downsizing my collection to only be a few palettes, and this is one that will stay. The only thing I don't like about this palette is how much kickback or powder, whatever you want to call it, how powdery these shadows are. They're easy to apply and they don't fall down once you tap off your brush, but what bugs me is how much powder will just kind of accumulate inside the palette. So that does bother me, but in general, really enjoy it. This Cypress Umber is a really nice cooler to neutral dark brown, so I can use that kind of a smudgy liner. Golden Ochre I love because it's kind of mustardy. Also Raw Sienna, Burnt Orange, Warm Taupe. All of those colors are very like easy everyday colors for me, and having the Vermeer and Primavera also as the kind of shiny lid colors when I want them. Just this palette, it really works for me. Let me know if you have any questions about the stuff I mentioned. If there's anything you've been really liking lately, I'd also love to hear that. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Thank you so much for watching, subscribing, commenting, liking, all that stuff. I really do appreciate it. And even though I say it every time, I really do mean it. I hope you're having a wonderful day, and I'll see you soon.